Hello, beautiful ladies, and congratulations on making it through the end of week 5. I'm so proud of you. You have all been doing so amazing at staying consistent and laying those foundations, for long-term habits and success. It's usually around this time that we start to feel a little more tired, a little more stretched, and that initial motivation has definitely worn off. And we start to feel a little overwhelmed with where we're going. So this week, I want to talk about something that I think is absolutely imperative to long-term health and longevity success. And that is the third pillar of the New Woman method, which is wellness, and wellness specifically related to stress management. When your stress is managed and your nervous system is supported, everything just works better. You sleep better, your cravings are much less, your energy is through the roof, and your workouts are absolutely on point. Even your mood is impacted when we have our stress under control. So today I want to share with you 8 science-backed strategies that you can implement to start to feel more grounded, more energized, and in control immediately. So before we jump into those strategies, I just want to talk about and give you guys an understanding of the background and exactly what stress is. So to keep it nice and simple, when we experience stress, now this could be emotional stress, it could be long-term physical stress on our bodies, or it could be as basic as a packed schedule. Our brain tells our adrenal glands to excrete or produce the hormone cortisol. You've probably all heard of the hormone cortisol. It is our main stress hormone. Now, cortisol itself isn't bad. We need cortisol to survive. At optimal levels, cortisol will help us to focus, perform, and to react quickly when we need to. It is, however, problematic when cortisol is at a chronically high level. And that is when we are stressed for a prolonged period of time. Say, for example, when we don't get enough rest or we're constantly on the go, cortisol will stay elevated. An elevated cortisol, chronic elevated cortisol, is problematic. So elevated cortisol can mess with your sleep, your digestion, your mood, your metabolism, and it can even impact your ability to recover from workouts. So let's talk about some strategies that you can use daily to help minimize stress and ensure well-being pillar is being ticked. The first and the most important thing that we can do to help minimize or keep our cortisol levels at optimal levels is sleep, and having adequate amount of sleep and good quality sleep, as we spoke about last week in last week's video. So if you need a recap of that, please do go back and have a listen. That will go into detail about how to optimize your sleep habits and ensure that we get a good quality and enough quantity of sleep. Another strategy that we can utilize to maintain optimal cortisol levels is our breath and breath work. Breathing, or a simple breathing technique, can absolutely help take your body from a flight or fight response down to a nice rest and digest response, which is exactly where we want to be. When I think about breathing, I like to incorporate a very simple box breath exercise. And that is when I do feel myself getting to a point where I have that elevated level of stress, I will implement a breathing technique called box breathing, which is simply 4 breaths in. So hold for 4 breaths. Exhale for 4 breaths. Hold for 4. And repeat. The third strategy that we're going to talk today about is my favorite, and that is managing our stress through exercise or movement, whether it be walking or strength training or simply dancing around the kitchen. Moving our body can help to flush out those cortisol levels and can definitely help to boost our feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. So even a very basic 20-minute walk can absolutely have you on the road to a better mood. Another very clear strategy to help minimize stress on our body and our mind is to eat in a way that supports our nervous system. So our nutrition is huge when it comes to supporting our well-being and our stress. Eating a balanced meal full of protein and fiber, which we talk about often, will absolutely help to keep your energy levels high and your mood steady. What you eat affects how you feel big time. So if you are indulging in these high sugar, high processed laden foods, what you're going to see are these huge spikes in our blood sugar levels. And then these massive crashes as that sugar comes down and is removed from the bloodstream. And that in turn will have a huge impact in your energy levels and your mood. Also, nutrients such as magnesium, B vitamins, and omega-3s are play a major role in stress regulation. So think about those dark, beautiful leafy greens, salmon, nuts, seeds, and beautiful whole foods over processed foods. The next strategy that I want you to think about is to lean into connection, and that is human connection. Human connection is a natural stress reliever. Just spending time around people that support you and that you connect with can help reduce your cortisol, and it absolutely increases that beautiful hormone oxytocin, that chemical, in the brain that gives you that beautiful boost and feel good mood. So finding people that you have a good connection with, reaching out to them, catching up with a girlfriend for a coffee, going for a walk in the sun, joining a group, a fitness group where you are surrounded by people that share your goals and your values can be an incredible way to lean into that human connection. The next way that we can start to manage our stress is to create simple routines and boundaries for ourselves. So keeping routine creates predictability, and predictability ultimately then reduces stress. So trying to keep a simple morning and evening routine, something that keeps you grounded, some basic stretching or yoga, journaling, or even just stepping outside and getting some natural sunlight for 5 minutes. Boundaries are super key as well. So making sure that you have really clear boundaries with regards to your health and fitness goals, and also your emotional goals as well. Whether that be putting boundaries in with family and friends, setting boundaries around social media accounts, whether you set a boundary around your phone, for example, these boundaries can also help to manage your stress levels long term. And the last strategy that I want to talk about today is journaling. So just taking 5 minutes a day to sit down, write down your thoughts, share what you're grateful for each day can absolutely help you to process emotions and gain some clarity in your life. Gratitude journaling, specifically in particular, has been shown to improve sleep, boost your mood, and reduce stress symptoms. So journaling is actually something that I am not great at, and I have started to implement into my daily routine. I've started a gratitude journal recently, and it's just a very simple way for me to take some time to think about what I am grateful for. And I pop that at the beginning of my day because I find that it really does help to set my mood for the rest of the day. So wrapping up for today, ladies, I hope that this has given you some helpful tools that you can lean on in those times of stress in your life. Because remember, how we react to our stress can either support or hinder our progress. And remember, you don't need to be perfect. We need to think about being consistent. So taking 1 or 2 things out of this video today and applying them to your week this week consistently, we'll see small changes add up to big results. And that's it from me today, ladies. So please keep going. You're doing amazing. Keep taking care of your mind, your body, and your heart because they are all absolutely connected. I'm so proud of you all, and we'll talk soon.